to Knit One Heart 2, episode 233. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie, and my co-host Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, cannot be with us this week because of her work schedule. So this is going to be a relatively quick episode. I don't have a lot to show because a lot's been going on with the holiday season, and I'm really sorry for the lighting. It's evening. I did have the Christmas lights on, but there's like this halo of light coming from above, and the Christmas lights made it even worse, so we turned them off. So anyway, let's see, shout outs. We are not doing a knit along in December, and that's because it's a busy season, but we are going to be back full force with the knit alongs in January 2016. So if you have ideas for knit-alongs, put them in the thread. It's still in the group that what you'd like to do. Also, Sheila is doing a self-imposed stash down knit of her socks that rock. It's going to be year-long, so we'll probably run a kind of that along with our regular contests. So that'll be fun. If you have a lot of socks that rock like Sheila does, this is a good time to get rid of it. So other than that, I am drawing the winners of the Spilly Jane Knits Mittens book and the knitted gift wraps. And we will be reviewing another cooperative press book next week. I'm sorry I didn't do it this week, but I just didn't have time to read it. I'm going to be honest. So that'll all happen in the next episode, which hopefully will feature Sheila. But like we said, during the holiday season, between her job and all the stuff that you have to do around the holidays, it schedules up in the air. And hopefully in 2016, we'll be back to more of a regular day again. Over the holidays, it's always really hard. So thank you for watching if this is your first time and checking us out. And thank you to the return viewers. And please have patience with us until January. Okay, so on the dance card, I am still knitting on my Sinusoida socks. This is the second sock, and I have made it the opposite direction of the one that I have already knit. And this is out of White Birch Fiber Arts in the You Know Nothing Jon Snow colorway. And you can see, because this is a slip stitch pattern, it really draws up. The back is quite a bit longer than the front, so I am kind of making a compromise when it comes to the heel, but I did finish one sock and it fits great, so it doesn't really disturb the fit. You just kind of have to pay attention. You don't want the bottom to get too big, and you don't want the fact that the front is short to make your heel too short, so you've got to kind of try it on as you go. So that's what I've been doing. But I really like what this does to self-striping sock yarn. I think it's interesting. And I can think of a bunch of ways that I would use this knitted stitch pattern on other socks that didn't involve doing, like covering the whole thing. It's a pretty cool stitch. So that's that. I'm knitting it on number 2 needles. And I am probably another couple inches from starting the heel. I want to get it a little bit longer before I start the heel. I love this yarn. White Birch Fiber Arts is one of my favorite self-stripings, and this yarn in particular I got at the trunk show at Rhinebeck this year. So that's number 1. The second thing on the dance card, which has gotten very little love, is my Rhinebeck cowl. Still stuck with 2 rows of the leaf pattern. If you have not seen the show before, I am knitting the background out of sock yarn from Into the World, and the leaves are going to be out of this gradient mini set Autumn Harvest from Fiber Optic Yarns. It's my own design based on something that I saw at Rhinebeck and based on a free pattern that had that oak leaf design. I will get to it more now that the bulk of my Christmas stuff is done, but that's really what's been holding me back. So I'm calling that my Rhinebeck cowl. Rate your date. I have 2 dates to rate, and let me just go and get them. My first date is a Force Awakens hat. It says the Force Awakens. It has the little spaceships and then like a stormtrooper, I guess. And I made a multicolored pom-pom. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I can't remember the name of the designer, but I will run it underneath and you can see it in the show notes. And it's meant to be knit in sport weight. I didn't have sport weight, but I did have all of that worsted weight that I pulled out for all the bobble hats that I did when my husband asked me for this. So I did it in worsted weight. My husband's head is pretty big, so it made kind of like a slouchy. It's not really too big. My husband's head is bigger than mine, so it fits him great. And it's just kind of a slouchy pom-pom hat. And I did it in black, white, and blue. The black and the blue are Cascade 220, and the white is probably Patton's plain wool. And it's all from Stash. So I think it turned out great. My husband hardly ever asks me to make anything for him, so I was more than happy to comply. But I have to say, I made a mistake on every single chart of this pattern, and it wasn't the pattern's fault. It was just, I think after 4 bobble hats, I was done with color work. And I made a mistake in the pattern, which I'm calling a design feature. These O's are supposed to be touching, so they're more like squares. And there's only supposed to be 1 line in between each of them. But I reworked the way that the writing was centered on the pattern, and then I didn't look at the chart carefully, so mine has O's. Looks like it's saying, ooh, the Force Awakens. But my husband doesn't know that. He doesn't need to know that. He will still enjoy the hat. In fact, my husband, my 2 kids, and my mother and I are all going to see The Force Awakens after my parents get here. A couple of days before Christmas, I think. I'm excited. I love the Star Wars series, and I'm excited that they're continuing it with a new director and doing stuff that's different, and it'll be cool to see Han Solo and Luke and Leia and all those people, so I'm really looking forward to it. But The Force Awakens, it's great for a free pattern, but unless your husband or you or your child or whoever you're making it for has a really big head, I would knit it in the recommended yarn. Just saying. Second date to rate is I have a project half done. My Sinusoida sock. You can see that on the top it spirals around, and on the bottom it crosses over. I'll see if I can show the front of it for you so you can see better. The front has it crisscrossing, and then at the leg it spirals. The spiral leg part was fun to knit because you just keep going in the round and you don't really have to follow the pattern anymore. You did have to pay a little bit of attention to do the crisscross back and forth, but I think it's cool. It's really neat, and the sock fits great. But I really had to be careful because the top of the foot is quite a bit shorter than the bottom of the foot. So I watched where I was doing that. If I could do it over again, I would start the slip stitch immediately. Usually I wait to start the patterning on the back of the leg. So I stopped doing it and I did it up higher. But because this is a slip stitch and not something, I mean, if anything, it would strengthen that area. So I think, if I knit this again, I would probably start it right away. But it is really pretty. I like how it came out. So that's my project half done. I don't have any whirlwind romances this week. It's really been all that I can do to just get my holiday stuff done and some knitting. It's been a crazy week. My future dates, the new Knitty came out this past week, and there is a cowl in there designed by Kiki Kawai, who is, if I'm not wrong, Yarn versus Zombies. Yarn, is that Yarn versus Zombies? Now I think I'm making it up. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it. But she made a cool cowl that would look great with heavily variegated sock yarn. And as soon as I saw it, I really want to knit it. So that is what I'm going to do as soon as I get a little more of my holiday stuff in control, because I'm almost done with everything, but I have a few more days that I'm going to have to work on it. So that cowl will be on my dance card soon. I even know I'm going to go into my stash, and I think I have a skein of socks that rock that would look really good with this. Baubles and bling. I don't really have any baubles and bling this week, as it should be. It's almost Christmas. So hopefully after Christmas, I will have some fiber-related things to show. I don't know if I'm getting anything fiber-related this year. I don't really need anything fiber-related this year, but I never know what the presents could be that I'm going to get, so I'll show that. Other than that, I mean, around Christmas time, other than the little accident I had with Fiber Nymph and all the socks, the Felici sock yarn that I bought, I try not to buy too many fiber things. So nothing this week. This is quite a short and boring episode. Crushes and heartbreaks. Let's see. I guess the big crush is that my bathroom is completely done. I can't remember if that happened last week and I told you about that, but it's done. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm hoping to get the giant bathroom cabinet that has been standing in my hallway moved out of there and the hallway painted before my parents come. So that's kind of my goal this week to get done house-wise. We did put our tree up, so that's nice, but I haven't really done the decorating. Usually there are like balls and ornaments on the swag stuff that's on the window. My husband did do the front yard with the lights today, though, so that's very festive. And the big important thing that's a total crush is that all of my festival of Christmas baking is done. For those of you who've watched the show before, my husband likes to give his colleagues baked goods as a Christmas gift every year, or a holiday gift, I guess. And I've always made all the baked goods for him to give. He makes the cheese straws, but I make everything else. And so this year, during the last week, I made sausage balls, fudge, chocolate fudge, 2 kinds of cracker candy, Hershey Kiss cookies, pretzels dipped in white chocolate, lemon squares, O. Henry bars, and sugar cookies decorated with royal icing. That is all done, all packed up, and all we have to do is organize the boxes, and it'll be ready for my husband to give them this week. So I'm really excited that that got done. We still have like more than a week till Christmas, so I'm ahead of the schedule. I have all of my holiday shopping done, which is also a huge crush, except for like 2 or 3 things that I can pick up from one place in one day. So my hope is this week to get the Christmas shopping finalized, get my Christmas cards out. I have the Christmas cards. I just have to print out the address labels and mail them. And, excuse me, deal with the bathroom cabinet and clean the house, because I'll have house guests next week when my parents arrive. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the holidays. and that's going to be a fun time. This is the first time in 2 years that I haven't had some kind of like cancer diagnosis hanging over my head during the holiday season, which is kind of a relief. So it's nice. I purposely scheduled my mammogram for after the holidays so that I wouldn't go for 3 years in a row where I had some kind of an issue. I'm hoping that because I take tamoxifen and I'm doing what they call chemo prevention therapy, I'm hoping that I won't have an incident this year, but I guess you never know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens in January. But it's been nice to enjoy the holiday season without that stress hanging over my head. And I know my kids and my husband are grateful for that too, because it really, when one person is stressed out in the family, it really kind of drags everybody down. And that's kind of crummy during the holiday season. So, yeah, that's it for crushes and heartbreaks. Not a lot going on except for holiday stuff. And I think by the middle of this week, I will be completely done, and then I can just relax until Christmas. That would be really nice. So that's my plan. Gossip and innuendo. Well, there's not really anything happening in the fiber front until 2016. In January, I will be posting a list of all the events that we know of. I know some people have sent me some new stuff. I'll put that up. Anything that I can get a link to, I'll put up. And I'm looking forward to it, although I have to say, in 2016, I don't think that I'm going to attend as many fiber events as I have in the past. This is going to be a busy year coming up. There's a lot going on. And one small thing that we're going to try to move house. So this might be the year that I have to kind of kick it back a little bit. But I am looking forward to the spring Fiber Festival season. It's always fun to start another season. Oh, excuse me. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe I'll sell my house right away and I won't have to miss anything, but I suspect it won't be that easy. So anyway, that list is coming in January along with all of our knit-alongs and stuff like that. To get to the part that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for, I did use my random number generator to draw winners for the Spilly Jane Knits Mittens book that was sent to us for review by Cooperative Press, and the Knitted Gift Wraps book that was sent to us for review by Deborah Tomasello, the author. So the person who wins Spilly Jane Knits Mittens was actually the last person in thread. That's never happened before. Number 102. Her Ravelry name is Who Dat Knitter. Her real name is Amber. Amber liked the penguin mittens, and Amber, I will be forwarding your name to Cooperative Press so that you can get the book and knit those. So if you do knit the penguin mittens, make sure to post them to our group so we can see how they turned out. So that happened. In the Knitted Gift Wraps book by Deborah Tomasello, the random number generator came up with number 26. The Ravelry username of that person is Twisting Pearls. Her real name is Eileen. She plans to knit wine bottle sweaters because they gift a lot of wine during the season. Eileen, I will be forwarding your name to the author and you can knit those. And if you do knit some again, post in the thread because we love to see that people actually used the patterns that they win, or the books that they win. And I'm so glad that we could pass on these books to you. Both of them I thought were just great. And I hope to knit something from one or both of them in the upcoming year when I have my knitting mojo back a little more. So that's a pretty short episode this week. It would have been a little bit longer with Sheila. There's more to talk about when she's here. It's not that fun to record alone. I have to give kudos out there to people who just record by themselves. To me, it's not that fun if I don't have a co-host. So hopefully Sheila's schedule will permit her to record with me this week, or I can rope somebody else into covering for her because this is just not working for me. But for everybody out there, if you are getting ready for Christmas, I hope that you're getting your stuff done and are looking forward to having a great time. And I'll talk to you later this week when I record with my actual co-host. So have a good week. Knit with heart. Bye.